Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome back to the deep dive. This is where we take the sources you shared with us, all the articles, the notes, the interviews, and really just distill what matters.
Right. Giving you the insights without you having to wade through everything.
Exactly. So today we're diving into a personal journey that it really gets at that core question for anyone who moves abroad.
That classic debate.
Yeah, are you running away from something?
Or are you running towards something? And in this case, well, it seems like he was doing both at the same time.
And with just incredible speed. I mean, we're talking about a successful U.S. real estate professional.
Decades in the business.
Yeah.
A totally stable, established life.
And then in late 2021, he just trades it all. The career, the house, everything.
For a single suitcase and a one-way ticket to Costa Rica at age 51.
51.
So our mission today really is to look at that transition, the sheer intensity of it, going from this successful American life to, well, starting over completely in the remote tropics.
Yeah.
And we want to focus on the biggest hurdle he faced right away.
The language barrier.
The language barrier. It's a profound cultural and psychological wall.
Right. And it all started with a personal connection. This wasn't totally out of the blue.
No, the connection began online back in February 2021.
With a young Tico named Sebastian. And that online connection, well, it very quickly led to the first big reality check. So by August 2021, he flies down with his 21-year-old son for a 3-week exploration trip.
And Sebastian is their guide.
Exactly. And they're not just hitting the tour spots. I mean, they went everywhere.
But the itinerary was pretty ambitious. Manuel Antonio, Cocoa Beach.
Then all the way across the country to Puerto Viejo on the Caribbean side. They were trying to get a real feel for the place.
And what really jumps out from the notes on that first trip is just the immediate culture shock.
Yeah.
And it wasn't about the food or the roads. It was entirely that linguistic wall.
He and his son knew hola and gracias. That's it.
That's not a foundation. That's barely a polite way.
I found this part so fascinating. He said that without understanding Spanish, everything just sounded like noise.
Just noise. Yep.
Street chatter, the TV, everything was just this incomprehensible sound. It completely detaches you from your environment.
Well, it's more than just missing a conversation, right? You lose your agency. You can't assess risk. You can't read a room.
You have no context.
Zero context. And that's what leads to that incredible story from Alajuala.
Yes. Okay, this brings it all to life. So, they're staying at a house, and one morning he's jolted awake.
By this loud, frantic shouting over a loudspeaker right outside.
I mean, can you imagine? You wake up in a foreign country to this sound you can't place?
Your heart rate just spikes.
He genuinely thought they were under attack, like a riot or some kind of civil unrest had broken out overnight.
He goes straight to the worst-case scenario.
Yeah.
Because what else could it be?
And then Sebastian, their guide, just calmly explains.
It's the fruit truck.
It's the fruit truck, selling produce off the back of a pickup with a loudspeaker.
And that story is it's the perfect microcosm of this whole thing. The noise that his brain translated as attack
To the full ear.
to a local ear just means lunch. It means fresh groceries.
Yeah.
And retraining your senses to make that leap is the real challenge. It's not about verb conjugations.
It's about context.
Yeah.
The language is the code, and without it, the most normal everyday thing can feel like a genuine threat.
Exactly. And realizing just how disconnected he was, that seems to have just fueled this incredible commitment.
It really did, because while they were still on that trip, still in Alajuela,
They get the tattoos.
they get matching tattoos. All three of them, father, son, and Sebastian.
A beach scene with palm trees and the words Pura Vida.
I mean, that's a huge psychological step, getting permanent ink on a 3-week reconnaissance trip.
It's like planting a flag. It says, this is happening. This future is ours, even if the details aren't worked out yet.
But then reality hits again almost immediately. The first meeting with Sebastian's family.
Which the sources describe as difficult.
Difficult. And why?
The language barrier.
Yeah.
A total lack of shared language.
So you have this huge emotional commitment, this tattoo, but you can't actually talk to your new partner's family.
Right. The interaction becomes what? Strained smiles and pointing. It puts enormous pressure on everyone to push through that wall.
And then the timeline just accelerates dramatically. He goes back to the U.S. from that trip.
And everything changes.
He gets home in late August, and just 2 days later, his mother has a massive stroke.
Wow. What a bagel shift from the high of that trip, the Pura Vida tattoo, to this profound personal tragedy.
And the timing. It was just heartbreaking. They had a video call scheduled for October 13th so Sebastian could finally meet her.
Oh, no.
She passed away that morning.
So that call never happened?
Never happened. And that tragedy, it wasn't just about grief. It was an accelerant.
A catalyst.
Completely. The documents confirm that within 2 weeks of her passing, he sold everything.
Everything.
Everything. A life's worth of assets, liquidated in 14 days.
That's not just a decision. That's an emotional evacuation. It sounds like the move stopped being just about running toward something.
Right.
And became a desperate need to run away from this suddenly empty, grief-filled life.
Right.
The past was just too painful.
The final departure details really underscore that. He didn't ship boxes or furniture.
One suitcase.
One single suitcase. That's it for his material possessions. And then he grabbed
essentials.
Yeah.
His yellow lab and his cat.
And bought a one-way ticket.
And, the detail about the pets is so important. Moving animals internationally is a nightmare.
Oh, the paperwork, the costs.
It's a huge investment of time and stress. It tells you there was no plan B. This wasn't a trial run.
No.
That suitcase and those 2 animals, that was the definitive end of one life and the absolute start of another.
And that forced him right into what he calls the hardest part of the whole thing, total immersion.
Absolutely. And this is what sets his story apart. I mean, he's 51, a successful guy. He could have easily just settled into some expat bubble in a beach town.
Spoken English everywhere.
Right. But he didn't. He chose to move into a basic Tico home and learn Spanish from scratch.
Which is so humbling, to go from a confident professional to someone who can't have a simple conversation.
And his locations show how serious he was. The first year was in Liberia.
A major city, a regional hub.
But after that first year, he moves to the remote wilds of Upala.
And that's the key detail, isn't it?
It's the crucial data point. Liberia has some expats, some tourist infrastructure. In Upala, he was it. He was the only expat around.
So what does that do? What does that isolation force on you?
Well, the stakes for failing to communicate just go through the roof. In Liberia, maybe you can get by with pointing at the market.
Sure.
In a place like Upala, if you need a plumber or you have to deal with a government office, you must speak Spanish. There is no safety net.
You're not just learning to order coffee anymore.
No, you're learning to function,
Yep.
to survive. And that intense pressure is what finally turns the noise into meaning.
But he admits it was brutal. The loneliness, missing family and friends, on top of giving up his entire career and identity. He says it was the hardest thing he's ever done.
That he had an anchor through all of it.
The relationship.
Exactly. The wedding was in Cartago on February 6, 2022. So just a few months after he arrived for good. That solidifies everything.
And the integration with the family, that difficult first meeting, that completely changed.
It did. The sources say Sebastian's family now treats him like their own son.
Yeah.
That wall is completely gone.
And I love this part. It became a two-way street. The family even started picking up some English words.
Which is so telling. That shows true acceptance. They met his massive commitment with a commitment of their own. He wasn't just a guest anymore. He was family.
So we fast forward 4 years later. After all of it, the grief, the move, the struggle in Upala, was it worth it?
And his answer is a definitive 100% yes.
Despite how hard it was.
Despite everything. It's like something out of a movie. A man reinvents his life because of a tragedy, finds love 3,000 miles from home, and just starts over.
And that whole journey, that transition from hearing noise to understanding a culture, that inspired him to create something.
Right, he channeled it.
He created 2 resources for other people thinking of doing the same thing. First, the Costa Rica Confidential Guide.
Which he describes as the raw, honest truth. No sugarcoating.
And then he developed the Tico Translator app.
Which is the ultimate sign that he mastered it. He learned the lessons so deeply, probably those painful lessons from Upala.
For sure.
That he systematized them into tools to help others. He took all that noise he experienced and translated it into meaning for the next person in line.
And if you had to boil all that advice down, I bet it would be about that one thing.
The language.
Realizing the biggest hurdle isn't the logistics, it's the constant, exhausting mental effort of just trying to exist in another language.
That's the core lesson.
Yeah.
And as we wrap up, I think that's what we should reflect on. Cultural immersion isn't about memorizing vocabulary lists.
Well,
It's about retraining your senses, your gut reactions. The goal is to get to that point where the frantic loudspeaker outside your window
right.
stops sounding like attack and instant panic and just sounds like lunch.
Yeah.
Just sounds like the fruit truck is here.
That emotional shift is the real measure of success.
The transition from threat to routine. That's it right there.
Yeah.
And that really leaves us with this final thought for you, the listener.
Mm.
Consider what it really takes. What level of commitment, what irreversible action like selling everything in 2 weeks and moving to a place where you're the only expat is truly required to transform the world's frightening noise into your own personal meaning. What's your Pooh Bah?
Pura vida.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.